Okay, today I'm going to show how to update and refresh a Centro record block in Slack. Um, so the idea here is once you post a record block to Slack, it is relatively static unless you manually refresh it. But I'm going to show you how in Flow, based on a record triggered flow in Salesforce, that it can be updated automatically. And we can also include posting the update to the thread as an option. So here I've created a record triggered flow in Salesforce, and this one's based off the case object. Mine is configured to trigger when the record's updated, and with these conditions. You can do all conditions if you want, like anything changes on the case, but in our particular example here, I'm just going to be doing status or owner change. Obviously, you can customize this to your company's liking. Make sure to include an async path here, since we're doing DML operation, or since we don't want to hold up DML operations to complete the call out to Slack. So it will, once you hit that checkbox, it's going to give you two paths: run immediately, run asynchronously. Always run in the run asynchronous mode. The first thing we're going to do is get record or get linked conversations. This is a get element in Salesforce Flow, and we are going to match on the field Centro record ID. This is the field that stores the record ID in our table linked conversation. And we're going to use the case ID from the record that triggered this flow. So there may be multiple, and in fact, in this example, there are several record blocks that all map to the same case ID. So we're going to grab all of them and then store all fields. Next, we're going to loop through the get conversations we just did. So pick your collection variable as this output of the get conversations or get link channels. And then within each element of the loop, it's pretty simple. We're going to set some variables. These are all text type variables. So I've named them var channel ID, thread ID, status, and owner. We really only need these two to do the refresh record block, but we could use these to post as an additional message to the thread. So how this works is we're going to set, in the first iteration of the loop, we're going to set the channel ID to the linked conversations channel ID field. Again, we're storing the channel, thread, and record ID in each row of the linked conversation. Then under thread ID, same thing. We're going to stuff the current iteration of the loop for the message ID, or the message timestamp. And then status, we're gonna do the record status, and then the owner ID we're gonna snag as well. In this case, we're grabbing the Slack user ID as an @mention so that we can @mention them in the channel or in the thread. Up to you if you want to use that or not. So the first one is simply a Centro notification element. So to get to that, you hit plus action Centro send notification to Slack. This is a little counterintuitive. We're not sending a new notification, we're just refreshing an existing one, but that's okay. So we'll use a variable. We'll pick the channel ID to use here. No message, this is important in this, leave this blank. Then under message options, you want to toggle the update message and feed it the timestamp variable we created above. So that will signal the system to do a refresh on that record block. And then under attach a record, we do want to include the record variable, but don't link it. It's already linked. So we just need to include the record block itself again as a refresh. So that's it to refresh the record block. And then to post the update to Slack channel thread, again, we set the channel ID. In this case, I have a message that says this case status is now the status variable and the owner is the person. completely optional. You don't need to do this, but I find it nice to alert what changed, not just that the record block refresh happened. And again, this time you want to send as a reply and use the thread ID. And we don't need to attach a record because it's already in the record block. So how this looks in practice, let me pull that up. Okay, so here you can see we have this record block created, and here we posted the case status, and then the record block was refreshed here to show is closed. Okay, that's it for today. If you need help with this build out, let us know. Support@centro.rocks. Thanks.